The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received on Tuesday in Algiers the Saudi Foreign Affairs Minister, Prince Faisal bin Farhan, who sent him a message from his brother, the servant of the two saints of Islam, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. During the audience, President Tebboune underlined the historical bilateral relations between the two countries, namely their solidarity and the desire to further strengthening them for the benefit of the supreme interest of the two brotherly countries.
I would like to express my great joy visiting the brotherly country Algeria, where I was warmly welcomed and granted an audience by the President of the Republic, to whom I transmitted the greetings and a message from the King Servant of the two Saints of Islam and of the Crown Prince, Vice President of the Council of Ministers. We also addressed the excellence and the development of bilateral relations at the different levels, as it was confirmed during the visit of the Crown Prince to Algeria in 2018, as well as the visit of the Algerian President in 2020. I expressed as well the interest given by the Saudi Kingdom to coordination and consultation on all international and regional issues concerning the two countries, such as the strengthening of Arab work, the coordination of positions with regard to the OPEC, and the strengthening of trade exchanges between the two countries, which have experienced great development in recent years, notably exceeding $500,000 in 2020.
The President of the Republic signed on Tuesday a presidential decree relating to Article 91, Paragraph 07 and Article 213 of the Constitution, appointing as such Mr. Abdulrahman Hamzawi, President of the National Observatory of the Civil Society.
On the occasion of the World Democracy Day, the Office of the Council of the Nation, under the presidency of Salah Goujil, issued a press release in which he affirmed Algeria's total adherence to democracy at all times and in all circumstances. The Office of the Council of the Nation highlighted the National Popular Assembly's qualitative leap through the constitutional renewal initiated by the President of the Republic. The reform of the Constitution was submitted to a popular referendum in November 2020 in a real democratic framework, consolidating the participation of the people in the establishment of the benchmarks of their state and embodying the new Algeria in which democratic values and practices are established.
The government's action plan was met with opposing views between MPs, with favourable response and others with reservations at the end of the presentation, relating to several sectors such as the revival of the national economy, the local development of provinces, the recovery of the national currency, and the strategy of eradicating unemployment. We value the important aspects mentioned in this plan of action, but we have some remarks that we hope will be taken into consideration. We live in a severe economic crisis which results in the depletion of foreign exchange reserves and a surge in prices in the market. The purchasing power of the citizens is really degraded. It would have been necessary, therefore, to propose a general plan to get out of this crisis. Must we maintain the liberal or socialist system, or must we maintain both? Do we support public or private companies, or both? And what are the priority sectors? We must take into consideration in this action plan the promotion and encouragement of the farmer, knowing that the latter is the first producer to ensure and protect agricultural products. The state must ensure the marketing of this product, as it is the case today for durum wheat and barley. The promotion of agriculture and agri-food production is among the priorities of the government, for which it is necessary to introduce an emergency strategy to relaunch the activity of ONAB and the Poultry Breeding Office. Indeed, fruitful debates characterized the second day of the Government Action Plan presentation. The deputies of the National Popular Assembly proposed to set an adequate timetable for the implementation of the Government Action Plan, presented by the Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, Ayman bin Abdulrahman.
A terrible road accident occurred on Monday near Ain Timushint province at around 9 p.m. 6 people were killed in this crash. We received a call from citizens last night stating that a serious accident had occurred. When we arrived on site, we found that a car had tripped from the bridge to the National Road number 2, connecting the province of Ain Timushint to the province of Oran. We mobilized 6 ambulances and 4 cars in collaboration with the National Gendarmerie. The causes of this horrible accident are still unknown. It is worth mentioning that during the last week, at least 31 people were killed, and 1,499 were injured in road accidents throughout the national territory.
The COVID-19 pandemic had resulted in the paralysis of several sectors, namely the economic one, for several months. But finally, an initiative has been launched for the benefit of operators in order to exempt them from penalties and to agree on a payment schedule. The Labour Ministry informed all employers about the provisions and the exceptional measures to be adopted at the Council of Ministers meeting of August 22, 2021.
It is a measure which intervenes in an exceptional economic and health situation which had its impact on the social economic field of our country and which required the need to respond to the economic operators, allowing them to contribute to the economic recovery of our country.
Economic operators can also benefit from a payment schedule of main contributions with a total exemption surcharges and a delay penalties. The Ministry of Labour, Employment and Social Security invites all economic operators to approach the Social Security funds in order to benefit from these exceptional measures. 227 new confirmed cases of coronavirus and 18 new deaths were recorded during the last 24 hours in Algeria, while 192 people have recovered and have been discharged. This was announced by the Health Ministry.
Like any Algerian aware of the importance of being vaccinated, the Imam of Al Ghamama Mosque in Burj Al Kifan sets an example by going to this mobile vaccidrome mobilized for the benefit of the staff of religious affairs and waqfs. It is thanks to the vaccine that we are protected. It represents protection for us and those around us. The Prophet, may peace be upon him, said, "Take care of yourself, because each disease has its remedy." We organize this campaign with the approach of the resumption of the Quranic school. We will vaccinate the learners who will join the Quranic classes as well as their teachers. We're a medical association with a medical team who participates in all the operations that we organize, in particular the vaccination operations that we carry out 3 to 4 times a week. Launched almost 10 days ago, this national vaccination campaign, the largest of its kind, was endowed with all the means. Health services, hospitals and the various vaccination authorities are continuing their efforts, supported by buses and ambulances, for a safe return to school and social life. This campaign will continue until the end of the year.
So as to avoid another closure of its infrastructures, the Sidi Mohammed Municipal Swimming Pool in Algiers has set up a rigorous sanitary system, namely the obligation to present a vaccination record to access the infrastructure. The health measures do not only concern members but all users of these sports areas, such as parents who accompany their children. These health measures were also welcomed by all the elite athletes who come to this pool. These are very good decisions, which will allow us to prepare for our international competitions, and we hope that these infrastructures will remain open for long. These sanitary measures were set up to protect the swimming pool's members and keep the sports and swimming areas open to all their users.
The subway or metro of Algiers remains functional despite its shutdown due to COVID-19. The teams in charge of its proper functioning are doing their best to keep the machine running. Our mission now is to return to commercial operation and maintain this whole great system up and running under quality and safety terms. An absolutely essential service provided by the maintenance agents to ensure the preservation of the metro and for the proper functioning of the network. Citizens should comply to the preventive measures and wear their protective masks while waiting for the reopening of the subway.
In the United States, Hurricane Nicholas made landfall in Texas in the south of the country early this Tuesday morning. The hurricane made landfall along the state's coastline with winds of up to 120 kilometers per hour. The National Hurricane Center warned of a risk of flash flooding, especially in urban areas. Authorities have erected barricades, mobilized emergency services and asked residents to take every precaution. According to scientists, these phenomena are becoming more powerful with global warming and rising sea levels.
With regard to the Western Sahara file, the Sahrawi Commission Against Moroccan Occupation (ISACOM) called on the international organization to take urgent action in order to stop the practices and violations of the Moroccan occupation authorities against the Sahrawi activists. ISACOM appealed to the United Nations to assume its responsibilities in the face of these attacks and systematic violations against the Sahrawi organization against the Moroccan occupation, which violates the requirements of international human rights law and international humanitarian law in light of the escalating methods of repression against Sahrawi civilians. Meanwhile, a new group has been established to defend the right of the Sahrawi people to self-determination in the United States in order to confront the decision of the former American president on the occupied Western Sahara and the recognition of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic.